Hello. So in this question, you're trying to solve for how far from the base of the building will the object hit the street below. So firstly, we need to look at everything with respect to y. So we need the formula v2 squared equals v1 squared minus 2g distance of y. Some textbooks may use a instead of g, but regardless, this is going to be 9.8 meters per second squared. Okay, so first we need to figure out how long does it take for the object to actually drop down on the vertical. So v2 we have to solve, so we don't know that, v2 squared. v1 we already know because at the top of the building, the object isn't moving, so that's 0. Minus 2 times 9.8 dy, the distance it has to drop is 90, so we already have that, so 90. When you plug this all in and you multiply, negative 2 times 9.8 times 90, you get 1,764. Oh, I forgot to put a negative for the 9.8. And this, so now you can solve for v2. So by square rooting both sides, you get v2. v2 is the velocity right before it actually hits the ground. v1 is right before it gets launched from the building. v2 is right before it hits the ground. So by square rooting this number, square root 1,764, you get v2 is 42 meters per second. Great. So now that you have this, now we can use another formula to solve for time. So 42 equals v1 we know is 0 times negative 9.8 t. So 42 divided by 9.8, we get time is 4.285 seconds. So that means that it takes 4.285 seconds to drop this height. Now we know that before it hits the ground, it's going to travel for 4.285. So now you can determine the distance. So dx is your distance on your x-axis, and vx, it gives us that at the beginning because it's 30 meters per second. And then multiply this by time, which is 4.285. So dx equals 128.57 meters per meters. And this is also the answer that you got on your Reddit forum.